The dock. Change at the next station for train service towards the city, Tuas Link, Pasir Ris. The dock.
친구가 있네 하죠.